Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How we doing today on this Friday? How is everyone doing? Hope everybody's doing well. My apologies for no show yesterday. I wanted to do a later show. It was going to be this show, actually, the topic that we're going to do today. But after I got done doing everything that I needed to do, it wasn't going to happen. I was too emotionally and mentally exhausted. But we're going to cook today. We're going to have some extra shows. And so therefore, you're going to have you some extra cooking. Because it was not my intention to take a day off. I wasn't necessarily trying to do it. But I needed to attend other things. Every once in a while, life happens at 4:30. But I'm glad that everyone is here. And do a little housekeeping. My apologies. Okay. All right. So, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. Y'all was busy yesterday too. Pandering to Black women is how you get a bag. Simping and pandering keeps these women in the delusion that they like to be in. There's a reason why I've gone so hard on women. Specifically, it's been Black women, because that's my demographic. But we'll talk about that whole thing later on in the show. I'm starting to deal with the simp and the male hyena because he is part of the foundation of the gynocracy. That's who he is. That's the role that he is in. He's a part of the bedrock of it. He's a part of that because he upholds the nonsense. More than uphold, he validates the nonsense. He validates it. He validates it. He gets into his adulthood and he'll know. See, the most dangerous part about it is he'll know the truth. He know the truth. Can't tell me Devon Franklin don't know. Devon Franklin knows that women are not inherently whole because they're women and all of that, because he the one filed for the divorce between him and Megan Good. He filed that divorce. She didn't file that divorce. He did. He left her. So if she was so whole and awesome and didn't need nobody and need nothing, as we gonna hear him say, why didn't he keep her? Why didn't he keep her? See, when they know the truth, and then they still validate the lie. That's where you get into simping and pandering and willingly and knowingly upholding and validating the delusion, the entitlement, the bad behaviors. For women to say, oh, okay, because we know that a hyena will attach anywhere where she can get some validation. Anywhere that says, or anybody that says she's right for the foolishness that she do, she's gonna attach herself to that. And she's gonna parade that around. And she gonna be like, see, it's men over here that really be down for us and blah, 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 blah. And they really, she's gonna do it. She gonna take whatever lifeline is given to her to maintain her foolishness. Because she don't want to be corrected. She don't want to be brought into reality. She don't want that. So anybody, anything that supports her foolishness, even though they know it's foolish, she know it's foolish, dangerous, degenerate, all of that. She know all of that. She know it's abusive. She know it's entitled. She know all of what her bad behavior. She know what her bad behavior is. She just want validation for it. And she'll take it from any corner. And it's worked best when it comes from men, because no matter if you're talking about a hyena or a lioness, women value the validation of men more than they value the validation of other women. Validation from men got a different ring to it. Men validation got a different ring to it. It has been a minute. Assalamu alaikum, Khalifa. It's got a different ring to it. So when you get men that start pandering and start simping and validating craziness and delusions that women like to be in, that's when you gonna really hear them take that up a notch. Oh, we get validated for this. And it doesn't matter if it's happening in the minority or whatever. That don't matter to them. Logic don't matter to them. Numbers don't matter to them. Facts don't matter. Reality don't matter. None of that stuff. That's why it's a delusion. Because the reality of the situation don't matter until it pop them in the face, and then they can't escape it. When they can't escape the reality, that's when they got to deal with it. Other than that, they're going to try to avoid that at all costs for any reason, every reason. Don't matter. Okay? Let me talk to this for a minute. Hey, how you doing, BK Born? How you doing, sweetheart? So the true and living God said no one is responsible for the conscious actions of another, not even our children. I didn't say responsibility, but you can enable. You may not be responsible. You're not making people do stuff, but you can certainly enable them to do it. Let's not act like there's no such thing as an enabler. That's how people continue in their bad behavior, because they got people around them that enable. That at some point they tell them it's okay. And even though everybody know the truth underneath, they'll take that validation. I've been around a lot of crackheads in my lifetime, drug addicts. They like enablers. People that will give them money or give them a place to stay, or, you know what I'm saying, give them a this or give whatever it is, give them some type of validation to keep them going in that direction. And they utilize another person's enabling to do what they do. So these women are going to use what Devon Franklin said as an enablement, because it is enabling them. It's giving them validation and support for the stupidity that they're in. And they like it. They like it. That's why the comments are what they are. I'm gonna read some of the comments. That's what they like. They like that stuff. They like to be enabled. So what we're going to do, first of all, let me get to these super chats. Thank you, Miss 39 Dina. I appreciate you so much, sweetheart. You are so consistent, and I love you for all of the support that you have been giving for this such a long time. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, Damien, as well. Good afternoon, my sister. I got my plate ready. Good. Get your plate ready. You get somebody put some coleslaw on there and some potato salad. Okay. Thank you, JS. The Simps are the flying monkeys of the they're flying monkeys. They enable, they yes them. We're not gonna leave. If we're gonna talk about the destruction of the gynocracy, and we're gonna talk about all of the moving parts of that, the simp is the moving part. He's a part of that. He's a part of it. Thank you, Steve. Said, why are you breathing? Is the funniest question I ever heard from yesterday. Leave me alone. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you, Derry Lee, for your super sticker. I appreciate you, sweetheart. They say this is your first super sticker to this channel. So thank you so much for that as well. All right. So I'm going to share so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. And here we go. The first problem that I'm having with him is that he's twisting verses of the Bible. He's twisting the meaning of the verses of the Bible. Okay? That's very unfair. That's very unfair. And I don't like nobody that call themselves in a pulpit, that call themselves on the minbar. That's what we call it in the masjid. We don't call it pulpit. We call it a minbar. I don't like nobody that get nowhere trying to preach nothing from the Bible or from the Quran or from any of that and then twist it around to fit some type of modern day narratives. I don't like that. It say what it say. You either believe in it or you don't believe in it. If you're a Christian and your book is the Bible and this is the book that you believe in, and this is the book that you are following for your spiritual guidance and things of that nature, then it cannot be cherry picked. You need to go with what's actually in there. Now, I know a lot of times people say it could be left up to interpretation, and that may be true to a certain extent. But at the same time, it say what it say. So trying to take any of the scriptures, because Muslims believe in the other scriptures as well. We believe in the books of the Torah, the Moses' books. We believe in the gospel. We believe in the Psalms of David. You understand that? So I take umbrage personally of anybody that call themselves in a pulpit somewhere, taking verses of the Bible that anybody that's literate can read, and then trying to make it fit something that it obviously does not fit. I actually take offense to that. Okay? Too many people get led astray because they're listening to whoever is they taking as their spiritual leader. And if that person is not held to integrity and to the fear of their Lord for saying something wrong, then that person easily lead other people astray. Easy. So this is why it is important that if you are a Christian, you read your own Bible. Nobody said don't go to church or don't have your pastor and stuff like that. But at the same time, you read your Bible. You read your Bible. If you Muslim, read your Quran. Read it. Read it. Reading is fundamental. You got to know what's in there. Ain't no such thing as you are a Christian and you don't know nothing that's in the Bible. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing if you call yourself Muslim and you don't know nothing that's in the Quran for yourself. It's important. Very, very important. If you say that you are beholden to these religious texts and things like that, then you got to be beholden to it. Now, if you don't believe in it, then that ain't for you. This is not for you. But if you do, then it's important for you to read it to know exactly what's in there. So before we listen to him, I just had to say that I actually take offense to him doing this. This is offensive. This is offensive to me as a believer in God, as a believer in the Most High. I'm offended. Don't get nowhere in no pulpit and take no verses and then say what you want to say about them. Don't do that.
In verse 22, this is the creation of the woman, Eve. But you don't hear Eve coming into the earth saying, "Where's my man?" Huh? Am I reading it right? It says the man said. Eve came into the earth. Watch this. Adam was the one who was broken.
Now, did you hear that foolishness? She didn't come into the earth trying to ask, where's her man? Ain't nobody, listen, boy. See, she didn't come in single. That's the problem. They was immediately joined in matrimony. You know what? I might have to pull up. I'm sorry. Listen, before I was Muslim, I was raised in a Christian Baptist church. Church of God in Christ. Okay? And we only read the King James version of the Bible. Now, you say what you want about that version. We understand. I'm not going down the rabbit hole with it. I'm just saying what I was raised on. Do not make me pull up the King James. Because I understand all them these and thous and thines. Okay? Now, I'm not going to make this a Bible lesson today. That's not where I'm going with this. But this is why I take offense to that. Eve, peace be upon her, was created for Adam, for him. Her whole purpose of being created is to be with him. That's her entire purpose. Her entire purpose for breathing is for him. That is literally, she was created for him. Literally. Note that she was created after he was created, not simultaneously. She also was not created out of the same material. Adam was created out of the earth itself. Eve was created out of him. She's relative to him. We're going to get into the relativity of women to men later on. She was made of him, for him. Now, she is responsible for worshiping the Most High herself. Women are responsible for that. I'm responsible for following God's law myself, whether there's a man around or not. I'm responsible for that. However, that is wrapped up in my purpose. Because if I'm not fulfilling my purpose, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not doing it. See, this is where women are lost at, because feminism helped you lose your purpose. You lost sight of your purpose. That's why you're not operating properly, because you're not following the manual. You're not following the instructions. That's why you're all over the place. That's why you're everywhere. That's why it don't make no sense when women start talking about, I don't need no man. That's why that don't make no sense, because you was created for him. And it's not a position where she was created to be belittled. It's actually an honorable position because of the position Adam holds. Oh, don't make me get into it. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. The position that Adam has is as the vicegerent or the caretaker of the earth. That's his position. That's his station. It's a high rank in the eyes of the Most High, very high. To be the support system to that mission is very unique and is an honored position. It is an honored position. It's not a low position. It's not a stupid position. It's not an under the foot position. It is an honored position to help that mission. So this is why it's so important for a woman to find a man that is on purpose so she can fulfill her purpose. It's a greater purpose. Oh, don't. You know what? I gotta take a break. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta take a break, but I'm gonna be right back. My apologies. Thank y'all for hanging with me. Had to take that little break though. All right. Let me get to the super chats real quick. Thank you, Welt B. So his comments from a Christian standpoint are just stupid. How are women going to be so whole when Eve required Adam's ribs? She was whole because of him. Thank you. Thank you, H. Lewis. So how you doing, TT? What in the world did I walk into? Please cook this all the way through. I will. I will. Thank you, African Family Husbandry. Said peace once again. Excuse me, Miss Crimson. It's the scriptural revisionism that makes the simping even worse. These same women cheering in the crowd for Pastor Massa. Love John 3:16, but scoff at Genesis 3:16. I hear you. Thank you, LJ, for your super sticker. Thank you, Essential Entity. Said peace and blessing to the family. Salute the truth 100%. Thank you so very much. Okay, definitely appreciate you. Thank you, Essential Entities. Thank you, Wouldn't You Like to Know? Thank you, Ruminant Melanoid. So you tell them 1 Corinthians 11:8, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Exactly. Thank you, Top Box, and say he's no dummy. He know black women are the church's cash cow, so he's giving them the Reverend Ike speech to secure the bag, pandering 101. That is exactly what he's doing, which makes it so egregious. We're going to get back to this foolishness. Like I said, I actually take personal offense to this. This is offensive. Because you taking the words of the Most High and fitting them into a convenient little modern day inclusive feminist gynocracy hyena narrative. That's not what that support. The Most High don't support that. Since when? Since when? This is offensive on several levels. Spiritually, it's offensive. Religiously, it's offensive. This is a hallmark of the lost value system where there's what? No truth in the spiritual value. No truth in the spiritual value. Lies in the spiritual value. Just a flat out lie. We're going to let it continue though.
Eve came into the earth whole. She had both ribs. So
she wouldn't have had Nan had it not been for the Most High taking one from Adam. She would not have existed without Adam. The Most High did not deem to create a female first. He deemed to create a male first.
Society wants women to believe you're broken if you're not with somebody. But God says the woman came into the earth complete, not seeking or needing anyone or anything. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but you got to stand in your power. You are one of one. There's nothing wrong with you if you're not with somebody. You as a woman are complete. You're whole.
So I guess she don't need God. He said not needing anyone or anything. So she didn't need the guidance of the Most High that created her. She didn't need the guidance of Adam. She didn't need that. She definitely needed that. She definitely needed that.
And I got to say it because I'm tired of us supporting a culture that tries to make women think there's something wrong with them if they're not married. It's just not true. This is really interesting.
Now, it's real slick. See, this is why you can't listen to everybody. This is why you can't listen to everybody. This is why you cannot listen to everybody that march up and down with a book in their hand. You understand that? You got to be real selective where you get your knowledge and where you get your spiritual guidance and all of that. So you got to be careful where that come from and who that come from, because the devil is slick. He's slick. It was that slickness that actually got Eve in trouble. See, it was because she didn't understand. She didn't understand trickery. She didn't think that there was anything that was in that garden that would have had her best interest not at heart. She didn't know evil. She didn't understand that. She didn't new human being. She didn't get that. See, what we got to understand is Eve didn't get the same lesson Adam did. Eve didn't get them lessons. Adam got them lessons first. She didn't get that. She didn't see the fall of Shaitan. Adam saw that. Hawa wasn't around. She wasn't created yet. She didn't know. It was Adam that got the knowledge to name everything and understand the nature of things and its purposes. Hawa didn't get that lesson. So she didn't understand. She didn't think that what she was being told was evil. It was slick. It had kernels of truth. It had truth to it. He didn't come over there and tell her flat out lies. He had truth to it. That's the best. The best lies got truth in them. He told her a little truth, couple of lies, a little truth, couple of lies. He worked on Hour. That wasn't no one-time thing he said to her and she bought that. He worked her. But once he got her, once he got her to bite, literally and figuratively, once he got her to bite, that's when he got her. Now you've done what I wanted you to do. Now I've misguided you, and now you took it. You took the misguidance. You acted on it. You acted on the misguidance. Slick. Take something that's true. Take a piece of God's word and then be slick with it. That's why it's offensive to me. Because he take a piece of God's word and then be slick with it. That's why you got to watch who you listen to. Watch who benefits from what they talking about. Because I don't know nobody that ultimately benefit from the lies. You marching up and down anywhere with a book in your hand, call yourself talking about it's God's book. You got to be real careful what you say about that book. Got to be real careful what you hand people out of that. I'm not even going to go down the rabbit hole the way I could go down it. I'm not, because I have other things to say. But I'm very serious about that. Can't be slick. And he was real slick. I'm going to tell you where the real slickness is at. I'm going to tell you where the slickness is at. In a minute, I'm going to go to break. But I'm going to tell you where the real slickness is at and what he's saying. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know where the real slick is at for that. The real slickism in what he's saying is he's saying that women, he doesn't want women to believe that they are broken because they're single. He's saying that he doesn't want women to believe that they are broken just because they're single. And to support that, he twists the story of Eve's creation and the purpose of her creation to fit that narrative by saying she came into existence whole, without need of the man that she was created for, nor the God that created her. I'm going to tell you why that's a slick little twist. It's not the single status in and of itself that's the problem. Because every woman is going to have a space where she's single, even if she's a virgin coming out of her daddy's house. There's going to be a time where she's single, where she's an unmarried woman. A virgin out of her father's house. She's going to be unmarried for some amount of time, be it short or long. The status of being single in and of itself is not where the problem is. Nobody said she was broken because she's single. We're saying she's single because she's broken. That's the twist. He twisted it a little bit. We're not saying she's broken because she's single. I was just single for 5 years. See, the problem is, why are you single? Why? Are you single because you're 19 out your father's house and you ain't got married yet? Are you single because your husband passed away and you're not married again yet? Or are you single because you can't get along with no men? Are you single because you are a broken woman and you can't get right? Why are you single? That's the little twist he put in there. See how Satan just twists. See, just a little bit. See how he just shift you a little bit. And then you be wrong Loud and wrong. See how he was loud and wrong? Eve was not married to Adam. She wasn't dating. She wasn't trying to figure out what she liked. He didn't have to spend $500 on a 5-star restaurant. As soon as she was in existence and breathing, and he woke Adam up and introduced the two. This is your mate. I made one. Adam had never seen a woman before in his life because she didn't exist before that. But when he saw her, he knew exactly what she was and exactly what he wanted to do with her. He understood that intrinsically. That was in his nature to know that. She knew it too. She knew exactly who he was, why she was created, and what she wanted to do. The Most High wedded them right then and there. So at no point was they fornicating with each other or none of that. At no point. So you're lying not only on the Most High, you're lying on Adam and Eve. Like she came through on some strong and independent garbage. No, she didn't. She came through on her purpose. She came through in her nature. She didn't come through hoeing. How dare he put that on her? This is why I disagree when people say marriage is the invention of the state. And no, it's not. Marriage, matrimony, actual matrimony, the spiritual matrimony, that is from the Most High. That is not, no government, no man-made institution produced that. I'm kind of getting off because he made me mad. He made me mad. But we gonna cook. This is gonna be some overtime because I ain't even got into. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey brothers, I want to tell you about a website called blackmenszone.com. Now, Black Men's Zone is a site that specifically targets black men. It's a place where black men talk about issues that solely affect them. Now, at Black Men's Zone, the topics will range from news to society, sports, technology, business, food and recipes. Some brothers got to cook too. Gaming, and some of your brothers like doing some of that. Health and fitness, got to get your workout on. Music, movies, and many other topics. Now, there's not many forums around these days for black men, and because black men have to create them. Now, this particular website is more of a forum based, something simple, not social media. You can write what you need to write, say what you need to say, get off pretty quick. But if you're interested, brothers, to at least go there, and I want you to check it out, engage in the topics, go to blackmenszone.com, sign up for an account, and get engaged in the conversation.
All right, so definitely you want to hit the link at the top of the chat for blackmenszone.com. This is a forum specifically designed for black men to be able to come and to begin conversations or join into conversations that cover a wide range of topics and subjects that interest and affect black men. So you can think of it as like an online barbershop type of space that's not meant to be disturbed or distracted with the presence of anyone else other than the men. So definitely you want to click the link at the top of the chat. Once again, blackmenzone.com. Become a part of the conversation or start one of your own. I know I owe you a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button, bam, bam. You got to because we're going to continue on. I know I got some super chats that I need to see too. Thank you, Vera. I said it said marriage, pregnancy, and family are shadows of spiritual truths. Modern new age ideas about gender distort, twist what the Almighty wants to show. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kushinsi. Said this dude is lying through his teeth. How you gonna say women came here whole when the Bible say otherwise? Precisely. Thank you, just my 4 cents. Said, girl, it's not your fault. You left the stove on and burnt down the house. It's his fault for not smelling the smoke in his sleep. Y'all need protection. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Essential entities of the perversion of God and righteousness is the work of Satan. It definitely is. Thank you. Anthony said, teach. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Christopher, Lisa, you're very much appreciated. Crimson, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Black Goku Zero. So this is one of the main reasons why black men stop going to church is because you have these simp pastors not holding women accountable. How feminism has been brought into the church. Thank you so much. I'm disturbed. Because he's saying a few things. First of all, he's saying women are whole because they're women. No, you can be a whole woman. This is what being a wife is before you have a husband. You can be a whole woman. As a matter of fact, you should strive to be whole prior to the actual finding of a husband and a marriage. This is why we say don't be broken. Because broken women do not make good mates. Because you have something that you need to deal with that will hinder you in fulfilling your purpose as a wife in one way or another. It'll show through. So if you have major things that you need to deal with, when I say broken, I'm talking about traumas. I'm talking about getting over unhealed things. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody's got flaws and shortcomings. That's not really what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about major issues that you need to be dealing with. Mindsets that you need to change. You need to become a whole female, a whole woman. That is what being a wife is supposed to mean, so that your husband finds you in this state ready to be a wife. Even though I was a wife for 20 years, after he passed away, I was no longer ready to get back into a marriage. Not immediately. I was no longer in that status. Not only was I not a wife because he died, I was also had some things to get over. First of all, I had to get over him. Can't get into another relationship still grieving and still feeling a way about your late husband. That's unfair to the next man, because now he's living in the shadow of that. So I had to wait for that. I had to go through that. Had to do that. Had to work through it, not just cover it up. Actually go through the process of grieving and all of that other stuff. And then address my personal issues that I needed to address. I had some coping mechanisms that I needed to drop, some bad habits that I needed to break. So because I had gotten older, I was no longer 19, 20 years old. We talking 20 years later, you're a different person. So I see the world differently now. It's not just about getting with another guy quick as you can. It's about, can I actually offer another man wifehood? Can I be beneficial to him? Can I do my role? Can I do it? Am I prepared physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally to get back into the trenches of a marriage? And for 5 years, I was not. Okay? A lot of work. I needed to get my physical self together. I needed to get my spiritual self back together. Before I could say, now when a man comes here, when a husband comes here, I can be a wife now. I can support, I can do my purpose. Properly. I can function like a wife. I can think like a wife. I can get myself ready to go under the covering of a husband. So you are supposed to be whole. But that don't mean you don't need the husband. Eve was literally created to need him. Let's go back to her actual creation, because I want to point something out to somebody. Since we're talking about Eve's creation and not needing no man, because that's what he ultimately getting to. Ultimately, he's saying that the feminist agenda is correct. Women don't need men. That's what he ultimately saying, because he said it. She came into the world not needing nothing and nobody. So he's saying that the feminist narrative is actually correct. But we know it's not correct, because it has ended up into the detriment not only of the family unit, but women specifically. Specifically, women have been destroyed by it. Women have been destroyed by the feminist ideology because it has taken them away from the purpose of being women. That is why you got them talking about tea parties can be women just giving up their mantle because it don't have no value, because they don't know what it's supposed to be. Let's go back to her actual creation as stated in the Bible, as stated in the Quran. Adam, for those of us who believe the Bible and the Quran, Adam was created out of the earth. Okay? The components of the earth. That is how he was created. And then he was given life. Later on, we're not going to go through all the details. Eve is created. But how? She's not created from the earth like Adam is. So right then and there, she's not exactly his equal. Is she? Something very interesting. The Most High takes a rib out of Adam and creates Eve from that. So she's indirect. She's also relative to Adam. Her creation is relative to him. She's woe man. He's man. And she's woe man. She's relative to him. Her entire creation is in relation to his creation. Let me break this down for those of you who may not understand exactly where I'm going with that. Everything women do is in relation to men. Everything. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they deny it. I don't care what women jump up and down and say that it's not and they do things independently. No, we don't. Everything that women do and everything we are is relative to men. Every status, every accolade, every accomplishment is in comparison to or in relation to who and what men are, what men have, or a measuring value that men have already created. I want y'all to think about that for a little bit. Thank you, Just My 4 Cents. That the first Section 8 eviction is on record as Adam and Eve, and who caused that? Thank you, Jalen. Said a cup of ocean water can never be equal to the ocean itself. Thank you so much. I'm going to let y'all marinate on that. Are we marinating on that? Do I need to break that down anymore? Men create value systems and measuring sticks. When women say they are equal to men or they are better than men or that they don't need men, what do they often bring up? They bring up whatever money they may have. They bring up whatever educational status they may have. They bring up any type of possessions that they might have, cars, houses, shoes, clothes. Who made that a value? Women and men. Because men compete with one another. Men said that was valuable. Men said it was valuable to have money. Men said cars and homes and was valuable. Men said higher education and stuff was valuable. Kevin Samuels made popular the concept of a high value man. And then what did women do? Try to copy that and say that they were high value women based on what value system based on what criteria? The one that men created. Men will say that they are alphas. And then what did women do? Well, we're alpha females. Men started it being CEOs and bosses. And then what did women do? We boss chicks. We women bosses. We girl bosses. Instead of a CEO, we she-EOs. Right? And all that stuff. Men said we can race cars really, really, really fast, going hundreds of miles an hour around the track. It's kind of dangerous because if you hit that wall, you're probably not gonna make it. But we're gonna race these. We're gonna race. And then you had a couple of women. Danica Patrick comes to mind. Notable because she's a woman where in a male-dominated space. She's a good driver for a woman. Men started physical competitions that we now call sports. The reason that there are women's sports is because men started it and then women saw it and was like, I want to do something like that too. We are not the originals. Sorry to bust your bubble. We're relative to them. We are relative to men. Our whole being is relative to them. Because guess what? We were created to do what? Follow them. And we do that even when it's done imperfectly. Even when it's done unintentionally. We are relative to them. Men create value for things. They assign value to things. Women don't do that. They assign value to women. We don't even assign value to ourselves. They assign value to us. And you may not like that, but that's the reality. You're not valuable to men if men say you're not valuable to them. This is why it's such a circular, goofy argument for women to be like, men should not care about whether women are promiscuous or not, when they absolutely do care. They do care. You can't stop them from caring. And you can't stop them from assigning a value to you, be that a high value or a low one, based on it. Just for an example. This is why they value pretty women over ugly women. Because he values beauty, things of beauty. Women are one of them. So when you're not quite as pretty, that's when you have to come with other things that he values, like your femininity and your cooperativeness and your willingness to submit and be under his covering. That's why you come with the rest of it, because he values that too. Not saying a pretty woman shouldn't do it, but let's just be real. A pretty one gonna get away with stuff that an ugly one not gonna get away with. So you become valuable to men when they say you're valuable, because men assign value to stuff. That's actually one of his purposes. It's one of his jobs. That's one of the jobs the Most High gave him. For being the vicegerent, we call that the Khalifate in Arabic, being the vicegerent of the world and the things in it. That is why the Most High gave him dominion over it. He didn't give everybody dominion. He gave man dominion. Because he assigns value to stuff. And that value really is based on whether or not you can or can't help him in his mission, be you another person, a thing, a food, a place, an environment. Man put value on environments that had more water, that produced more vegetation. Why? Because it allowed him more of an easier way to set up civilization, because water brings life, that vegetation. He can farm it. He can do stuff with the land. He can build on it. So he would prefer that. It's more valuable to him as a place to create a society and a civilization than, let's say, a desert area. A desert area is more harsh, more difficult for him to maintain a foothold. It's not as valuable as a place to set up a civilization. That's why most cities and civilizations cropped up by bodies of water versus in the middle of deserts or on the peaks of mountains. It's difficult up there. But the valleys in between mountains usually had good soil, good agriculture. He could eat off the land. He could till it. It's stable. Why am I trying? Let me get to other points here. Let me get to some other points here. Why is this so incredibly horrific for him to say something in that, particularly in that pulpit, that would maintain or help enable women's delusions about where they are? Because keeping you in a delusion, women, is a destruction to you that is so horrific. He's perpetuating that you're somehow broken when you need men, while simultaneously coming from a book that says the exact opposite thing. That women are actually functioning properly when they attach themselves to men. I'm trying to end women's delusion. Why do I go so hard? I'm going to say this and then we're going to start wrapping it up. Why do I go so hard? Because I'm trying to end women's delusions. Why? So that women can be free of living lies. And then after living them lies, have to face the consequences of reality dawning on them at a time when it is too late in life, where them bad decisions you cannot undo and you cannot escape the consequences and the repercussions of horrific decisions that you made while you were under a delusion of what you were supposed to do, what you wasn't supposed to do, what the world was like, and what it wasn't like. This is not to bring women to some type of animalistic or horrible. I'm trying to help you live in reality so you can move accordingly. Because if you consistently stay in reality, you don't got to get back smacked with it at 50. Because it will come. There will come a time where the delusion will break. It will irreparably break. And you will not be able to go back to it in any way, shape, or form. And it is at that time when it dawns on you that all them horrible decisions that you made and the depths of the negativity that you wrought hit you and won't let you sleep. I'm trying to save you from that point because it is the point of no return. That's what we're talking about when we talk about hitting the wall and all that kind of stuff. Because you get to a point where nothing can be reversed. Nothing. You get to a point where you can't course correct anymore. When you maintain a delusion, specifically when you do so on purpose, because it's a lot of y'all that know you're delusional. You know it. You know you living in a fantasy world. You know. It's not even like you don't know. You do know. That's the most horrible of all. You do know. You do know that the decisions that you making today are egregious and they devastating. And you get to shrug it off because the consequences ain't hit you yet. So you get to do things and it hit other people and you okay with that. You get to make decisions that end up bad for other people and you're okay with that. But karma is a mother. And it come for everybody. What go around, come right back around. That is why the golden rules say, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Because what you put out comes back tenfold, whether it's positive or negative. You are not going to be able to ruin everybody's life around you and don't taste none of that. You're going to have to come out or be destroyed. These are the only two choices. You are not able to be in limbo like your cognitive dissonance tell you can be in. You cannot straddle that fence. Life gonna make you pick a side. Life gonna make you pick that side. Or it'll pick for you. I'm trying to get you to a point where you can pick. Life will pick for you. You'll be somewhere crying in a fetal position. Because life can whoop you the way nobody can. Life will whoop you the way nobody can whoop you. Only so long you can ignore that whooping. Trying to help you. This ain't no woman bashing. He's woman bashing. telling you these lies and these delusions to get you to keep on just so you can tithe him some more. He looking for another wife. Y'all better get out of here. Holding on to everybody that enable that foolishness for you. You better get out of here. Get right or get left. Get right or get left. Give me only two choices. You don't have another one. I don't care what this feminist agenda tell you. I don't care what a liberal, leftist, woke agenda. I don't care what social media tell you. You got two choices. You get right or get left. Trying to help you while you young enough and sane enough to choose it on your own. Life will choose it for you. You're not going to like it at all. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up. Let me see if I've got any cash apps today. Let's see. Did we get anything? Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Antonius. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Anthony, for your cash apps. I greatly appreciate them. Greatly appreciate them. Let me get back to these super chats. Truest dude, thank you, sir. I couldn't believe he took God's word and twisted him the way he did. Shame on his brother. And this is why so many black men have left the church. Thank you, Lord Sinister. Say he's literally telling these women to be the same women he divorced. My dear brother Numsi, thank you. Thank you to brother Numsi. All right. I'm showing my age. Anyways, my whole point, he filed for that divorce. Why wasn't Megan good enough? Go back and get her then. Oh, she with Jonathan Majors right now? You sent her back to the street. Why? You're right. That's why I said in the beginning, Megan Good wasn't good enough. Why not? She was whole, wasn't she? What you leave her for? If what you said in that pulpit was true and you believed it, what you divorce her for? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.